You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Oh yeah, baby, that's lovely.
Good morning, it's August the 8th, and welcome to Psychedelics and Cannabis Educational News. We're live here at paceradio.net. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
I have never said good morning, Steve, to you since you've been here with the network, and that's because you're all the way out west, out in BC, and it is friggin' early there, right?
Yeah, I'm usually but hey, it's news day.
It's news day, yes. Glenn and Rev Cindy, they're not available today to do the news, so I asked Steve late last night if he'd be interested in joining me this morning to do the news broadcast. This is Steve's first time doing it. He's never done it. We never even practiced or anything. We've never done anything together this way, have we?
Nope, this is going to be awesome. Flying by.
All he has is a few little instructions for what to do, and I'm sure you'll do just fine.
We're making news as we speak.
Yes, exactly. Now, I don't know about you. Like you, as I mentioned, you're out west. I can tell you right here, we're nice and sunny. We got some blue sky. Is the sun up over there yet?
It's coming up right now. I can see it just kind of at about that level. You know, not quite up in the sky yet. It's trying to break through the trees, but it's there, and I can see a little bit of blue sky, a little bit of gray over there, but lots of blue over there.
Good.
So, yeah, I think we're in for a nice blue day as well. It could be a beach day.
It could be. Hey, yes, exactly. Hey, maybe after the show, you could head down to the beach and check out what's going on down there. Now, what do you say? You ready to bring everybody the news?
Sure. Let's get
all right. I'll get things started, and you know what to do after I'm done. All right, here we go. First story of the day. Headline says, Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club receives $3.2 million fine from the BC government, and this comes to us from StratCan.
The Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club, an unlicensed medical cannabis dispensary that has been operating in Victoria since the 1990s, has been issued a $3.2 million fine from the province. The fine was issued in July following a hearing in the appeal. The total fine is $3,235,465.74, which is based on an amount equal to twice the retail value of the cannabis that was sold or possessed by the business for the purpose of sales. $3,235,465.74.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just going to pull that out of their back pocket, right? Yeah. The provincial government's deputy director calculated that the retail value of the cannabis that VCBC sold and possessed for the purposes of sale was $1,617,732, falling rates in 2019 and 2020. VCBC has until September the 6th of this year to pay the fine and can apply to appeal the ruling until that date. BC Safety Unit, the CSU, can undertake a range of enforcement activities against unlicensed cannabis retailers, including inspections, issuing tickets, obtaining warrants, conducting seizures, and more. The CSU can also recommend the prosecution of offenses under the Cannabis Control and Licensing Act. And they just usually just issue a fine these days.
Yeah. Wow. The
Yeah.
province had previously proposed to the VCBC and Smith combined $6.5 million for selling cannabis without a license, including $3,235,465.74 to Smith personally. However, in the most recent compliance order issued by the CSU, Megan Oberg, deputy director of the CSU, says that she did find that Ted Smith was not personally selling cannabis contrary to provincial regulations. She notes, however, that she has not yet made a determination as to whether Smith or any of VCBC's officers, directors, or agents may be liable for the monetary penalty imposed upon VCBC. This would be determined in a separate hearing.
Interesting. The CSU is expected to hold another written hearing to determine if the directors of the VCBC will be held personally accountable for the $3.2 million, as has been in the case with other unlicensed store operators. A press release from the VCBC says that lawyer Trussaw and Jack Lloyd will be challenging the compliance order issued by the province.
VCBC founder Ted Smith stated in a recent online post that stores like his have never been allowed to have storefront access under Canada's cannabis laws. Quote, patients continue to rely on the VCBC because limits on THC and edible products, restrictions on smoking lounges, high prices, and the lack of information regarding the potential medical uses of cannabis products in recreational stores are unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
For these reasons, the 28-year-old VCBC has defied the CSU and reopened after every raid, including a third raid in March of 2023, for which a fine has not been issued yet. Soon after that raid, Trussaw and Lloyd filed lawsuits and injunctions against both the provincial and federal governments, though no date for that hearing has been set.
Now, in January, the government issued a $156,125 fine against Kit Warren, the operator of another Victoria cannabis store, who faced enforcement actions from the BCU in 2019 and 2020. Two people connected to another unlicensed cannabis store who faced more than $1 million in fines rejected an appeal at a recent hearing in January. As of June the 3rd, 2024, the BC CSU has conducted 342 education visits to unlicensed cannabis stores, taken 111 enforcement actions, conducted 1,635 investigations of online cases, closed 233 unlicensed cannabis stores, and seized $38 million in cannabis. The BCU reports that 1.49 million in penalties has been paid so far. Now, that total dollar that they give in the cannabis, Steve, now, do you think that is what the business is actually charging the product, or is that the money that they believe that the product is worth? Sort of like how they say every plant is worth $1,000 or $2,000, no matter the size of it.
In any of my dealings and research on any of it, they always go for whatever will bring them the highest dollar value in the news.
Yeah. Okay. Finish up the story.
The Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club is one of the oldest and longest continually operating cannabis dispensaries, compassion clubs in all of Canada. It was started in 1996 by owner Ted Smith. While many medical cannabis dispensaries prior to legalization said they sought to fight for medical cannabis access, the VCBC is one of the few who have stuck to their guns on the issue of fighting for access. The club was also at the core of a court case many years ago that made non-flower products like edibles and ingestible oils legal for medical use.
That's right. Not only for medical use, in the end, that's why we got them in the stores, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
Because at one time, under the medical program, smoking was the only method that was allowed legally until that court case.
They've seized over $38 million in cannabis. Do they utilize that in the legal market once they've got it, or does that just go?
They destroy it. They just destroy it, burn it.
Wow.
Take it to the dump and burn it. They do around here. I know that.
they take
it to
parties and burn it one little bit at a time.
Yeah, well, that's what I've offered and others have offered. Willing to help them burn it one joint at a time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we'll burn it for you, no problems.
All right. On to the next story. This one comes to us from CBC. Headline there says New Psychedelics Medical Research Center opening in Kingston, Ontario. This is good news.
A Kingston, Ontario hospital network and university are opening a new medical psychedelics research center. The Centre for Psychedelics Health and Research launched Wednesday at the Eastern Ontario City's Providence Care Hospital.
Psychedelics are drugs that cause psychological effects in the person who consumes them, such as hallucinations. Indigenous people have been using psychedelics as healing tools for millennia, it says.
Canadian researchers have been studying the effects of drugs such as psilocybin, the psychoactive compound in magic mushrooms, LSD, and ketamine on mental health conditions. While those three are controlled substances, Health Canada can allow their use in medical trials.
Queen's Dean of Health Sciences, Jane Philpott, said in a news release, the center will be an important step towards building a knowledge base to support patients struggling with mental health and substance use. The news release said that the center plans to train healthcare professionals to use psychedelics as a therapeutic tool, host community workshops to share knowledge, and fight the stigma associated with psychedelics.
It also mentioned chronic pain and palliative care as areas it's interested in. The center's new director, Dr. Claudio Soares, the chair of Psychedelic Science Committee at the school, wrote he believes the new center will help Canada make informed choices about the efficacy and safety of psychedelics in the future.
The center also has support from the Ontario Brain Institute and the Canadian Biomarker Integration Network in Depression, where Soares is a founder and executive. Though the center opened Wednesday, it's in its early days. It still needs to be outfitted to conduct the trials and other works it hopes to host. So the ground is just starting, and they're always
that story makes me really happy as a person that has used the psychedelics and mainly the magic mushrooms to get my way out of my own complex PTSD, depression, and trauma stuff. Man, it's life-changing, and it's life-changing for the better. And it's nice to see this happening all over, actually. These stories are coming up.
The cannabis end of things, we're always hearing, we need more research. We need more research. We need more research. And, sure shit, we're going to hear the same thing on the psychedelics ends. And it's good to see that right here in good old Canada and here in the province of Ontario at Kingston, that they're going to open this research center.
That's good. It's good. That stuff is going to do so much for mental health for people. It's so needed.
Yeah, exactly. All right, on to our next story. This headline comes to us from Fox, and it says Missouri Cannabis Division recalls over 2,000 marijuana products. Like, holy fuck, Steve.
Wow.
2,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. The Missouri Division of Cannabis Regulation, DCR, announced a recall on over 2,000 marijuana products on Tuesday after inadequate testing was conducted. Marijuana products from NGWMO LLC sold to dispensaries are being recalled after they weren't compliantly tested before being sold to patients and consumers, according to the DCR.
Official says the products were tested at the unprocessed bud flower stage rather than at the final cannabis product stage required by the 19 CSR. The list of recalled cannabis products spans over 2,600 products. The DCR says any patients or consumers who have purchased the recalled products should stop using them immediately.
All unused products should be discarded or returned to unused products should be returned to the dispensary. Don't throw it away and get them off the hook. Sorry, but the story says all unused products should be discarded or returned to the dispensary facility where they were purchased. All returned products won't count towards a patient's purchase limit, the DCR says. Anyone who may be experiencing adverse reactions from using the products should seek immediate medical attention and should report them by emailing cannabiscompliance@health.mo.gov.
That's a lot of products.
2,000. It's funny that it doesn't say actually over 2,600 products there, eh?
Correct.
It
Yeah.
doesn't say what they are in any way.
I think if you click on that link, there's a link right there where you mentioned the 2,600 products. There's a link there. I've closed the story at this end, but there's a link right there.
I'm opening it up right now, looking at it.
Yeah, I think if you clicked on that, you would see what the products were.
No, it just says all products, but it doesn't actually say what the products are. Oh, there we go. Product notice of product.
Yeah, I had read a story that it listed edibles. It even listed flour.
Yeah, I can't find it on here, but
yeah.
Holy cow, that's a lot of products, man.
It is, yeah, exactly, and that's not just 2,600 items. Those are different
products. So one product could have, they might be 1,000 of that products in
yeah, exactly.
Wow,
that's a lot of stuff.
Testing. Do the damn testing.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that what they say? That's why we have to legalize cannabis so we can get all the testing done.
Yeah, but how much in Canada? How many of the licensed producers in Canada all got their hands slapped already too?
Oh yeah.
Every one of them has been caught doing something they're not supposed to.
Yeah, and there's recalls happen in our products quite often, and usually they're related to labeling issues. A lot of them do. We had one there this week actually, one that came up. So
wow.
Alrighty. On to our last story before we get to break, and this one comes to us from the Green State. Headline says Harris-Walz makes history as the first 420 friendly presidential ticket. Steve, if we get a presidential ticket that's positive for cannabis, let's hope they change something down there in the U.S. because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever for it to be illegal federally when it's legal in all those states medically and recreationally.
Yeah, it's a weird dichotomy, eh?
Yeah, it is. Exactly.
Let's see where we at. Vice President Kamala Harris has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate, according to the Associated Press. The former teacher and Army National Guard veteran is considered a Midwestern liberal darling and has become increasingly visible to the media since Harris became the presumptive Democratic nominee for president. While the choice will likely appease many demographics, it also marks the first time a major party presidential ticket has been glaringly pro-pot. Despite concerns over Harris's past prosecutorial work, the VP has said numerous times over the last several years that no one should be incarcerated for cannabis. She held a celebrity-filled roundtable on marijuana reform earlier this year and has advocated for loosening restrictions on the plant.
Meanwhile, Governor Walz helped champion adult use cannabis in his home state, making it a top priority for Democrats prior to legislation passing in 2023. Governor Walz has been an outspoken advocate for cannabis legalization in Minnesota, and with Vice President Harris, they are the first explicitly pro-legalization major party presidential ticket, says Brian Barash. He's the VP of External Affairs and Deputy General Counsel for Dutchie in a statement sent to Green State. Keep going, it's below the ad.
Oh, I was just reading that part. And Deputy General Counsel for Dutchie. I got to look that up and see what the heck that is.
Oh, okay.
Up here at Dutchie is a donut.
I think it's a company.
Pot industry players like Barash have praised Harris's choice, believing it emboldens the possibility for future reform. We are encouraged by this pick and hope that if elected, Harris and Walz will continue the progress already made towards ending federal prohibition and supporting a safe and regulated legal market. Barash added, cannabis reform is on voters' minds this election cycle, and we look forward to hearing more from Harris and Walz about what they will do to advance cannabis reform if elected.
Yes. The Harris-Walz campaign is likely to lean into the pro-cannabis conversation, much like President Biden had prior to exiting the presidential race. The former president and Republican nominee Donald Trump has stayed relatively silent on the cannabis issue, but has publicly attacked Harris and saying she put thousands and thousands of black people in jail for pot.
The next few months will be a political whirlwind as the November election looms, but cannabis advocates are hopeful a Harris-Walz win could free the plant.
Yeah, I read another story on this, and they did a comparison, like basically how they talked here about the pro cannabis ticket on the Democrat side. On the Republican side, what they made mention of was the fact that under the Trump government, Jeff Sessions, who was his top guy there for the Attorney General, he actually canceled the Cole memo. The Cole memo was a memo that was released by the Obama government that said that to leave the states alone who legalized cannabis, not to bother them. So why would you cancel something like that if you're pro-cannabis? It just doesn't make sense to me. So.
Huh.
Yeah. All righty.
Just got a little bit of lying to try and get me in. Come on. I'm a politician.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting as this moves ahead in the next 90 days if cannabis does become an issue in the election, being that one side is pro and the other side is sort of wishy-washy. So see what happens. Fingers crossed. It just doesn't make sense.
Hopefully it becomes an issue and whoever gets in just legalizes it.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
Let's quit pissing around with this stuff. It's
That's
serious.
right.
Seriously.
Exactly.
We spent enough years throwing people in jail and wrecking lives over cannabis. Let's just fix this.
Let's just fix it. Exactly. All right. It's break time. Time to us to medicate. We'll be right back after a medical session. We're live here at paceradio.net. We'll see you in about 3 minutes and 40 seconds. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection. We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyndonega.
We have 2 lines of drinks. One's called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with. And then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop, Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And we're back for our medication session, and we're having an awesome day.
I love that song.
Oh, I want to do a shout out to Limestone City Hydroponics, our sponsor. I recently placed an order with them, and I received it in the mail. It came quickly. Everything was there. And I look forward to it's the first time actually I've done it through the mail with them. And normally I've driven to Kingston, so it was nice to be able to do that. And thanks to them. Alrighty, Steve, we've got 4 more stories to go, and here's the first one. Headline says, "Cannabis, hash, suspected psilocybin among items seized at Collins Bay Institution." And this comes to us from the Kingstonist.
The Correctional Service of Canada, CSC, is crediting staff at Collins Bay Institution after a package containing contraband and unauthorized items was seized at the federal property. In a press release on Friday, August 2nd, 2024, the CSC detailed that the package, believed to have entered the institutional property by way of a drone drop, was seized at the multi-level security prison on Thursday, July 25th, 2024.
Items seized by the institutional staff included tobacco, cannabis, hash, and a quantity of capsules suspected to be psilocybin. The CSC said, noting that the institutional value of the items seized is approximately $84,575. Now it says here that in brackets, institutional value refers to what the items are worth if sold within the federal prison system. That's basically
yeah, which is what, about maybe $2,000 worth of stuff on the streets, because dropped it with a drone, an $84,000 package. That's got to be a pretty damn big drone, because that package would be huge.
Yeah, well, as one fella from an organization down in the States, I just can't remember exactly what his name was, but his line was, if they can't keep cannabis and other drugs out of a locked society, how do they expect to keep them out of a society that's not locked?
No kidding, eh?
Yeah.
Wow, so, I'm interested in finding out like what the dollar value aspects of thing is, because $84,000, tobacco, cannabis, hash. How do you drone in like what, 40 kilos of hash? Like,
you don't. So, all right. Now, the story finishes off by saying the Correctional Service of Canada has heightened measures to prevent contraband and unauthorized items from entering its institutions in order to help ensure a safe and secure environment for everyone. CSC also works in partnership with the police to take action against those who attempted to introduce contraband or unauthorized items into the Correctional Institute.
I'm lost as to where you were there.
Oh, okay. What happened? Okay, after that, you'll see an ad there. It says good home line of credit. Do you see the ad? Green home line of credit.
I don't have that on mine.
Oh.
Okay, because on the next thing there should have been correctional service site and measures to prevent contraband. Yeah, okay. Now
Okay, then there's an ad, and then after that it says, if you keep scrolling down, it says this
Oh
is
yeah,
the
okay. This is the 12th time in 2024 that the CSC has reported the seizure of contraband and unauthorized items at Collins Bay Institution, with the previous seizure occurring in May. In mid-June, Kingston police reported intercepting 2 individuals who had been attempting to throw packages over the wall at the prison. Since the beginning of 2024, federal prisons in the Kingston area have seen a notable uptick in reported seizures of contraband on prison property, many as a result of suspect drone drops. Kingston has spoke with CSC about this increased activity in March. There have been 20 such seizures at Joyceville institutions so far this year, and 2 at Millhaven institutions.
Yeah, which are all sort of they're all in the Kingston area.
Wow.
Yeah. So
somebody figured out how to do it, and they're just doing it.
They're just doing it. People, as I said, people are just throwing it up over the fence, or dropping it in with the drones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
As that person said, if you can't keep them out of a lock society, how are you gonna keep them out of
Yeah. And man, if tobacco and cannabis is such a big underground thing in the prison, maybe the prison should look at taking care of the cannabis and the tobacco.
Well, I believe jails are no smoking zones.
Oh, come on. Even my high school had a smoking section.
I know ours did. we had a smoking zone when I was going to high school.
Yeah, so did we. It's kind of funny because, see if you can do that now.
Yeah, good luck there. Exactly. All righty, we're going to move on to the next story. And this one comes to us from Canada Tech Today. Headline says, Cannabis-infused tea mitigates fibromyalgia. There you go. Pain in Italian patients.
Actually, you know what? It probably mitigates fibromyalgia in all patients. But for some reason, we just picked no, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's probably because the study was done in Italy.
The cannabis plant is arguably the most dynamic plant on earth, possessing tremendous wellness benefits for suffering patients. Researchers are slowly but surely unlocking the cannabis plant's full potential, including which delivery methods are best for certain conditions. One form of cannabis consumption involves drinking it via cannabis-infused tea preparations. Many patients prefer cannabis-infused tea when available because it is a smokeless cannabis delivery method.
Researchers in Italy recently conducted a clinical trial involving cannabis and fibro patients, and patients reported decreases in pain after consuming cannabis-infused tea. Now, the Italian scientists, they assessed the efficacy of cannabis flower, which was at 22% THC and 1% CBD. They steeped in tea in a cohort of 30 patients with refractory FM, fibro. Yeah. Patients consumed the infused tea daily for 6 months.
Patients' median pain ratings fell from 8 on a numerical scale of 1 to 10 to 4 during the trial. Study participants also reported improvements in physical and mental health. None of the patients who completed the trial reported any adverse side effects from the cannabis. The study's authors concluded cannabinoids may represent an effective alternative to conventional pharmacological therapy for reducing pain and mind disorders in FM subjects. Further investigations like randomized placebo-controlled clinical trials are needed to corroborate these findings.
We need more research. That's why I said earlier than that story about cannabis.
There's lots of money in that research.
There sure is. Fibro patients frequently self-report using cannabis to successfully manage symptoms of the disorder. Observational data published last year reported that fibro patients who consume medical cannabis preparation reduced their need for prescription opioids. Hey.
And I know that within my circle and the people I know and a lot of the people I know that had fibromyalgia, using cannabis changed their life, taking it as a tincture, using it as a tea. Yeah, it's changed their life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, big time. I don't drink cannabis teas, but because of my cannabis use, I've never had a opiate prescription while not hospitalized.
Yeah, and I actually use the teas. I'll throw a little bit of fresh ginger in there and just drop some cannabis in there, and the ginger covers up that fine taste that cannabis can give you in the tea, and away you go.
They mentioned that patients were at an 8, and while doing the study, their pain levels were half at 4%, at 4 versus the 8, which comes back to the fact that quite often people have said, maybe cannabis doesn't remove the pain completely, but it dulls it so it could be tolerable.
Yeah.
So you're not having to take an opiate pill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All righty. On to our next story. This one comes to us from Forbes, and it says, Psilocybin retreat in Jamaica turns focus to relief work after Hurricane Beryl devastation.
Just over a month ago, Hurricane Beryl carved a destructive path through the Caribbean and broke numerous meteorological records along the way, primarily for early season formation and intensity, and wreaked havoc across Jamaica and beyond. The earliest forming Category 5 hurricane on record, Beryl remained steady on July 3rd as it made a direct hit on the southern coast of Jamaica, making land as a Category 4 hurricane. Homes were demolished and livelihoods were destroyed as tourism, locals, and fisheries were pummeled. News flashes of the devastation came and went during the United States 4th of July holiday celebrations, but the aftermath of the hurricane's impact has persisted still for many Jamaicans. Over the past month, citizens in the area of Great Bay, who were severely affected by the hurricane, have been without water, cell service, sanitation, and electricity, and many have had their rooftops ripped from their homes. As with many such relief efforts, help for the community came partly from within the community, as Psilocybin Retreat Center Myco Meditations offered a helping hand to members of the struggling area.
A local business deeply rooted in the community of Great Bay, Myco Meditation Psilocybin Assisted Retreats, took a lead in the relief and rebuilding efforts with local leaders. Justin Townsend, CEO and head facilitator of Myco Medications, says it became instantly apparent that a GoFundMe was going to be helpful to assist in the immediate crisis for the first 2 to 3 weeks, as well as to begin rebuilding efforts, Townsend describes. On day 2 or 3 after Beryl, I sent out members who know the community very well to map every woman, man, and child along Great Bay, including the side roads and the side streets. We assessed ages, numbers, and ages of children, medical issues, to assess what needed to be done. We looked at how badly damaged the roofs were, if they lost bedding and mattresses, if they lost home appliances like ovens, fridges, and that kind of thing.
The Myco Medications crew then set about prioritizing according to need, surveying the community of Great Bay, approximately 100 homes and 400 people. It was determined that a full 75% required either a partial or total roof repair. The majority of donation funds have gone towards purchasing the materials needed to fix those roofs and to contract multiple construction crews to complete the repairs, said Townsend. Repairs are being done in order of priority with the elderly and families with children in our community. Great Bay local Frida Gordon, 87, says initially she wasn't so worried about the hurricane because she didn't think it would be so extreme. She soon realized she had misjudged the situation. I was really took back. I wasn't afraid because I've been through 2 hurricanes already, but I sat on me own in a corner of the house and watched everything went, says Gordon. Me roof and the water coming in, and I sat there in the water until I got up and I saw what had happened to my whole house. The whole roof had gone. And I wasn't frightened. I sat there and I prayed and I asked the Lord, taking everything but leave me with my life.
Myco Medications has pledged that 75% of the donations funding will focus on roofs, and the other 25% will focus on fisheries and agricultural and general humanitarian needs. Says our company's office building was even emptied to act as a safe storage for other building materials. The remainder of our donations has gone towards other essential services, in particular in the first few weeks that followed the hurricane.
The period
People
prior
are
to the
working.
fundraiser, Myco Meditations took in donations of food and bottled water, diapers, wet wipes from friends all over Jamaica, from Kingston and the surrounding area. And frankly, says Townsend, without that coming in, we would have been experiencing even more despair down here. The local supermarket is still without a roof. Townsend says they're working on getting that repaired ASAP. And electric poles strewn about like matchsticks are being repaired and replaced by Jamaica Public Service. We see the lines being put out and about in the Treasure Beach area generally. They began in Great Bay a few days ago, says Townsend. So it's our hope that, I've been told, by the 10th of August, we will have electricity back.
Yeah. Now they say that they've canceled their retreats in July and throughout the rest of August, making the decision to reschedule until the area is ready for visitors, hopefully sooner than later. As the community turns to rebuilding, the GoFundMe will provide immediate relief, distributing essential supplies such as food, water, and medical aid to families in urgent need. Funds will help rebuild homes and revitalize local businesses, churches, and restore community infrastructure such as schools, healthcare facilities, and roads, and so on and so forth. So it's good to see, the company themselves get involved in order to help the people of the community where they're at. People quite often, it's a stigma. People didn't like cannabis coming into their community, some of them, but yet they get involved in the community and help out the community and say, hey, we're not the bad as the stigma tells everybody we are.
Yeah. It's nice that they're actually getting some news about it. That's kind of neat too.
Yeah, exactly. And
we don't want to advertise that they're helping.
Yeah, and the article didn't touch on anything that they do as far as really is the retreat, as what's people coming in afterwards to deal with the hurricane. It was about them assisting and helping people, which is good stuff. So
yeah, that was pretty awesome.
All righty, Steve. Anything off topic? I think we actually got one more story. We do. I just looked up there. Oh no! All right, this I think has to spread more across not only the U.S. but North America wide, especially here in Canada. And the headline from CBS News says, you may soon be able to smoke marijuana at public events in Long Beach.
In Long Beach, smoking marijuana at public events has been common, even though it's illegal. However, the city may soon change that after reviving an old ordinance. Cannabis has come a long way. People's viewpoints have changed, so now it's the opportunity to do that, Long Beach lobbyist Mike Murchison said.
It says, there we go. Murchison added he is already helping plan what could be the first cannabis event in the city, which involves Long Beach's own Snoop Dogg. We're trying to do a birthday event to celebrate Snoop's birthday here in 2025 in the fall. To do that, we need to change the current statutes here in Long Beach, according to Murchison.
On Tuesday, Long Beach City Council discussed the first steps to move forward on allowing temporary permits for businesses to sell and people to consume marijuana at city events. So as we explore the feasibility of the proposal, we have to ensure a sound safety plan, Councilman Al Austin said.
Currently, state law allows temporary permits for the on-site sale and use of cannabis at certain events, but only with approval from the local city. Last month, the state fair in Sacramento made history, becoming the first fair in the country to allow cannabis to be sold and consumed on site. West Hollywood has also allowed some permits. Long Beach could become the second city in Southern California to do it. Murchison claims it could bring a lot of revenue to the city.
With the loss of oil revenue, we're all trying to come up with creative ideas to bring in revenue to the city, Murchison said. The measure seemed to get support from at least some Long Beach residents. I don't smoke it, but I don't mind if others do, one resident said. The city council unanimously voted to move forward to study the idea for the next 60 days before putting together an ordinance.
There we go. All done. That, and what I talking about before we went into that has to be spread around North America more, because like, especially like here in Canada, for example, we have the Calgary Stampede for the last 3 years that's had a cannabis consumption area. A location in Prince George, BC, which should probably be near you somewhere, I'm assuming, is looking at. They had a 420 event. They said was successful. Now they want to have. Now they're having a street festival. We don't have that here in Ontario.
And then down here in Vancouver, they opened up like 13 beaches that you're allowed to go drink alcohol at, but didn't say anything about cannabis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's. I just sit there and kind of go, man, some of this stuff just doesn't make sense.
Well,
the other things that don't make sense. You can go into a liquor store and walk out with 4 shopping carts full of booze.
I know, right?
But you can't take more than an ounce out of that cannabis bowl, sir.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's there's some things that obviously that have to be changed, and that's why I say to people, when they ask me why do you still go to the global marijuana marches or anything like that, why are you still getting involved in protesting against cannabis laws when cannabis is legal? There you go. You just come up with a perfect example.
Oh yeah, and then that was something Cindy and I spoke about on our podcast after the Cannabis Day event. Was I noticed that here in BC, the Cannabis Day event, the way it's kind of put on is more like when cannabis was completely illegal. And if you're trying to get people to follow the cause, then you have to let the cause be known. And it's about a lack of medical cannabis. You know, they're still presenting as if the government is suppressing cannabis. It's not, and you need to educate people in the fact that, because people go, well, what are you bitching about? You can just go right there and buy some. But if you're a person that needs, certain level of oils or consumables for an actual disorder medical problem, you can't get those at those stores.
Well, so what are you going to? Are you going to go into a store and say, hey, I need some medicine. I need some oil for my 4-year-old who's having epileptic seizures?
Yeah, you can't even do that.
No, exactly. And that's why you need like the medical program, as far as I'm concerned, and I understand from the courts, the medical program will always be here. But they can never eliminate it. But if they did, what would you do with those situations? Like you've got a young child, even 3 months old, that's having seizures. The parents can't have the parents just go into a store and say, hey, give me some oil for my kid.
Yeah.
So the medical program is, as far as I'm concerned, it's a much needed thing, and it's just a matter of hopefully that we can get medical stores.
Yes, but we need to start. When we do the protests, we need to protest properly in a way that advocates just for the medical aspect and have people telling the stories of how it's changed their life, because we need to get more people on board. And what I noticed at the last one is people were just walking by. There was more cops there than there was people.
Hey, yeah, you're sounding similar to the one we had.
Yeah, and it's like, well, we're not getting the people because they're not getting the proper message. They're going, why are you protesting? Cannabis is legal.
Exactly, and because of it being legal, the access issue that has been around for many years, people are saying that, well, access isn't an issue anymore because now you can just go to the store to get it.
Yeah, but if you're a cancer patient and you need that Rick Simpson oil or the RSO or whatever, Phoenix Tears, whatever you want to call it, FICO, if you need that particular oil, one, at any of the legacy stores that have it, it's priced in a point where if you've got to take high amounts of that every day, you can't afford to even buy it at the price.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can't even get it at a legal store. They don't even have the proper product. It's come a long ways, but there's still a long way.
Oh yeah, and that's why we say we gotta keep it up. Gotta keep going at them. Just don't drop it. Oh, it's legal. Okay, done.
Yeah.
No, it's not done. We need more. All
of those aspects, all of those plant medicines, the mushroom stuff, what it's doing for that whole avenue of different psychedelics, what that's doing for PTSD, complex PTSD, treatment resistant depression, like so many disorders that the only other option is you get medicated basically to the point of being a drooler. And these plant medicines actually make it so you're accomplishing shit. You're getting stuff done. You're living life. Your
quality of life goes.
Yeah.
Up. All righty. Well, anything else you want to mention before I sign us off?
Nope. It's an awesome day. And
it's an awesome day.
Awesome doing the news.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for filling in for Glenn. And now that you've done it once, and we did a real good job, I'm sure you won't mind getting up early again.
I won't mind at all. This was awesome.
All right. From the Legacy420.com news desk, that's our Pace News report for today. Thanks to our buds at the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, Limestone City Hydroponics, Legacy420.com, and At-Eze.ca. In closing, we'd like to say thank you for watching. Please don't forget to educate, medicate, and do not incarcerate.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20 is so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partners 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420 enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.